אתמול בית המשפט המחוזי בירושלים מורה על גירושו מן הארץ של עומאר שקיר. עומאר שקיר הוא פעיל יומן, רייטס, ווטש, ארגון לזכויות האדם, לאחר שנקבע כי הוא קורא לחרם נגד ישראל בזמן שהוא שוהה כאן במדינה, ואנחנו מארחים אחר צהריים הזה את עומאר שקיר. Hello, good afternoon, Omar. Thank you for joining us. The judge yesterday in the district court rules that you continue your action publicly to advance boycott against Israel, primarily through your Twitter account and by other means. Do you agree or disagree with this ruling?
I disagree. Most of the tweets that the judge looks at include our promotion of research that Human Rights Watch has done regarding the human rights abuses of companies in settlements, and our advocacy that calls on companies to stop operating in settlements because doing so violates the human rights of Palestinians that live here. It's part of our international global effort to ensure that businesses adhere to human rights principles.
Can I quote from your tweet about Airbnb? Disappointing Airbnb decision reversed their stance to fully respect rights. Donating profits from unlawful settlements listing does nothing to remedy human suffering they've acknowledged causing by continuing to do business in settlements. They remain complicit in abuses. Sounds to me as if you try to promote the boycott of businesses in Israel on this or the other side of the green line.
That's not accurate. What we've done and what Human Rights Watch does around the world is when a company's actions entrench human rights abuse, we call on the company to stop the actions that lead to rights abuse. Decades of research by Human Rights Watch shows that when companies like Airbnb broker rentals on land confiscated from Palestinians that can't stay there, they're playing a direct role in facilitating rights abuse. That's different than, for example,
Sounds
BDS.
like a boycott.
Well, it's different because BDS says stop affiliating with Israel, anything that's tied to Israel until the occupation ends. We're telling a company to stop its action that violates rights. We take no position on boycotts of Israel proper.
Okay, let me give you an example. Roger Waters this morning published an article in The Guardian calling Madonna that is to come here to the Eurovision. If you believe in human rights, don't play in Tel Aviv. Do you endorse this call?
That's very different, of course. We take no position on calls like that.
Should Madonna come to sing in Israel?
So Human Rights Watch wouldn't have a position because we have no position on whether or not somebody plays a concert in Tel Aviv or whether they play in New York City.
Mr. Shakir, I ask you personally, are you happy with Madonna coming to Israel to play and sing on the stage?
And I'm telling you, as a representative of Human Rights Watch, we don't have positions on things like that.
Can I ask you as a person, does it have to be very official? I mean, if I invite you to come and hear Madonna on stage, would you come personally?
I very much enjoy hearing Madonna perform. I've been to many performances and shows within Tel Aviv that Israel proper. Our business, our focus is specifically on the actions of companies in settlements which are illegal under international law.
So J-Lo coming, Jennifer Lopez, that's another good news we heard today. You're happy about that as well?
I mean, if somebody's performing in Tel Aviv, if somebody is performing in a concert, that is not what we're talking about. We're talking about companies whose actions... If
she performs in Ariel, I mean the auditorium in Ariel, would you
that would be different. We would have an issue with doing business in or affiliating with a settlement.
That sounds exactly like the BDS. BDS also tries to boycott, first of all, primarily products by the settlements.
So we don't tell consumers what to do. We don't tell somebody don't buy product X or don't buy property Y.
But you tell Airbnb, don't publish your assets in the West Bank.
That's different because we'll tell a company like a government to make sure that you're not directly facilitating rights abuse. It's different than telling a consumer or a performer what to do. But if someone is in a settlement, that's a different story because the settlements inherently violate the rights of Palestinians.
You said in your comment to the district court decision, Israel's soul is in stake. Israel's soul is in stake. What's the problem with our souls?
No, I think the question here is Israel says that it's a democracy, but it's deporting a rights defender over his peaceful expression. I think there's a real question right now about what extent does Israel want to maintain itself as a place where there can be criticism, where we can have discussions like this, where we can talk about...
I guess the government have no disagreement of your rights to express your views, but when you're calling upon something that we won't get back to the agreement, to the disagreement that it's boycotting Israel, we now have to defend ourselves. You know, we're hosting you here. You're not a citizen, but you're acting against the interest of this country.
Look, I think anytime a government imposes a political litmus test and says we'll only have you in our country if you agree with our policy, that's a standard of authoritarian regimes, not democracies.
And you're appealing to the Supreme Court. Do you expect something different from the Supreme Court?
We'll appeal to the Supreme Court, and the Supreme Court has a history on cases like this, including a case it heard in October of 2018, and we hope
Flora, the student.
Flora Al-Qasim, the student. We hope it'll make the same decision here.
And if not, will you miss our country? I mean, do you like our country?
Of course. Look, I've been here for 2 years.
What will you miss about Israel if we deport you?
I mean, it's a beautiful place. I enjoy traveling around. I've had a chance to visit different cities and towns, get to know really good people in the human rights community, journalists.
You did find good people.
I did find many good people.
Only on one side of the Green Line or on both sides?
On both sides of the Green Line.
On both sides? You find good people on both sides?
Absolutely.
Okay. Israelis on both sides.
Of course.
Good to hear. Omar Shakir, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.